Hey guys, welcome to the Brains Are Root podcast with me, Antarctic Ninja, and the wonderful Loot the Body. This podcast is where we talk about anything and everything mental health, so sit back, relax, and enjoy while we talk about all of our crazy and invite you along for the ride. It's just nice to be back. I don't care how much we talk about whatever it is.
It is, it feels good.
We talk about absolute shit and we can get away with it.
Right? Because we know you've missed us too.
Yeah. I've had people ask. I've had a few people ask. And I'm like, God damn it. I didn't realise though until today how long it had been since we last recorded.
How long it's been, right?
I thought, it's only been like 3-4 weeks. No, like 8 weeks.
7, right?
7 or 8 weeks, yeah. I was like, shit. Like, oops. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Well, some people will take a summer break. We took a spring one, so.
Aye, yeah. We just hope that we can just keep going.
Right? Yeah. No, I need this too. I know you do. It like helps a lot.
Oh yeah. I just.
If you guys aren't seeing us around, we're not doing great either. Okay.
Yeah. If we start to disappear, fucking watch out.
Like, we've not given you a heads up. Like, hey, we're not going to be live, and we just don't post anything. Feel free to check in on us, because we don't do a mental health podcast for nothing.
Yeah. The best people to do the mental health stuff is the ones that give great advice and then don't take their own.
Right.
That's us.
You know how well it would work.
Yeah.
If we listened.
If we could do what we say, yeah, we're great. We'd be grand. That was another thing another suggestion that I do have written down somewhere. Is the art the difference between the art we do in our different mental states. Because, for me, two very different styles.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, that would be kind of cool. So, yeah.
I actually, I was really struggling with poetry for the second book.
Really?
Yeah, because I was, like, happy.
You see?
So
I figured this out I came up with this idea the other night because I was having a bit of a shit night, honestly, and words kept flowing. Ideas were flowing. When I'm happy, I'm lazy.
Right? Absolutely.
So,
nice.
read them both.
I appreciate you.
Because I know a lot of people would probably just, because, it's friends' books, they'd be like, oh yeah, we'll just get them, be supportive. No, I've actually fucking read them.
Yay! What's your favorite look from that one?
Oh, from this one? Oh, Christ. God. Let me find it. It's been a while since I last read it. Well, actually, I say that. I started reading it again the other week. I haven't got around to it.
I need to go back through and read them again because I've got a couple of places I want to be, like, showing them. And it's going to require putting some stuff in place.
Oh, yeah. Always.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I always like the zombie look.
It's so much fun to do, and I think that was even a blacklight look too.
Yeah, it was. Because I remember you posting the blacklight versions of it on Insta.
Sometimes I forget.
Robot's quite decent as well, to be fair.
Well, okay, so the wiring on the cheek.
Yeah.
That is glow in the dark tape. I just stripped it.
Ice cream. I remember drawing that one, and then I think it's.
Yeah,
I don't.
That's right.
I don't know if it's in the final edit that I gave you.
I want to say it is.
I have no. I haven't looked at it in a while, to be fair. You know this is all going to stay in, right? Because we're just talking bollocks.
I mean, that's fair.
The skeleton look. Seriously, people, if you need a nice little bit of reading, check out Luke's book, Mental Health and Makeup, Volume 1 and Volume 2 on Amazon. Don't ask me the price because I do not know.
That's fair.
Because I didn't look at the price. I went, I'm just getting it.
Well, and now they have them in hardcover.
Do they?
Yeah, that's what the new. See, look, I'll show you.
Oh, what?
Look at this.
Oh, Loot.
Yeah, I got both of them now available.
Loot.
That's not my fault. Amazon didn't offer it last year.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to buy them again.
I mean, you make great gifts.
No, they wouldn't. But no, well, not for anyone in. Well, actually, I have family members and friends that watch this. No, I would want both the paper and the hardback for myself. Let alone fuck everyone else.
I know. I have a shelf of both of them, and I was like, I like both of them. I don't.
I remember doing that one because that one was a. I struggled to get the proportions right because of all the different colours and layers.
Mm-hmm. That's my OC. That's my original clown. So.
Bring it back.
Yeah, I love doing her. I have her eyelashes set aside. I don't use them for anything else.
Nice.
I want to wear her to a con. I think I need to.
Are you planning on writing another one?
Every year. That's the goal, is to do a volume every year.
So we'll wait. So it's another 6 months or so before I get the next part.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. God damn it. But good read. I do like it.
It gives me time to do the looks. Unless you want like the horoscope calendar, that's available. I've done looks for all 12 astrological signs, and then the calendar doesn't go from January to December. You tell me which month you want to start at, and it goes by the horoscope cycle. So
nice.
like March 26th to April 23rd, or whatever it is for Aries. That's, and then you tell me which one you need to start at. It's Gemini now, and Cancer's coming up. And then I'll just do the 22-23 year starting where you want me to start.
That is impressive, to be fair.
That's,
that is impressive.
So
I've got
12 looks done.
See, I've got nothing like that going. I'm not doing sort of merchy type shit. I'm just here doing the same old shit that Ninja does. The stupid, crazy crap.
What have you been streaming though?
I've been doing Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Okay.
Been doing Control. Done. We did Builder Simulator on Sunday. That was kind of fun. Bit of Rocket League here and there. Not a lot, really. The same old sort of
car soccer.
Yeah. Yeah, because fuck yeah. Yeah, it's just fun, isn't it?
I never got into it, but I'm not coordinated enough. My 8-year-old's like, Mom, this is how you do it, and just like flawlessly does the things.
Yeah,
I'm like,
don't worry.
So how do I go forward though?
That's what I am not coordinated. I can go forward, I can go backwards, and I can flail. I'm not good at it, but I can do it.
Right?
That's why people like to have me playing, because they just hope I'm on the opposite side.
Easy goal.
But to be fair, even though, so I had to take a week off streaming because lots of IRL stuff was going on, and it's just every time I seemed to stream I was being interrupted for a good 10-15 minutes at a time. So I took a week off because I really just needed to like reset. But streaming has been one of those things that has kept me going, to be fair.
And it's hard when you have that thing that like you get to just check into and just chill, and then it's interrupted.
And
I try to do I have a hard time processing my emotions, and one of the things that I like to talk about is like processing externally. So whether that's like screaming, like literally screaming, sometimes that helps, and you can do it into a pillow, you can do it off the side of a cliff, makes you happy. And but for me, I watch shows, and I watch shows because I can tap into the characters. Like I can be empathetic with the character, and then feel the emotions. But like for me, I struggle to like experience my own thoughts and feelings, and so it gives me that like emotional outlet that the brain needs without like causing more damage because I'm just not processing.
Definitely.
When somebody comes in and comes in and comes in and comes in while I'm trying to watch something, I'm like, the next person who comes in is grounded for life. Go away.
Yeah.
Because the older ones will come in and they'll be like asked to leave, and so then they'll turn around and turn the smaller ones into soldiers for them. Like,
Smart
hey,
move.
Go ask. Hey, go ask. Like, tell whoever sent you that I'm coming for them.
You shall perish.
Yeah.
Oh, so good one.
So I know that you like to do exercise, you like jogging. And,
ooh, that's a thing. Because this, surprisingly, fits in really well. Turning point, decisive moments. A moment that I'm actually very proud of. Because, as you know, I do my exercises. And I started doing a exercise challenge.
Nice.
The Conqueror challenges, Lord of the Rings. Literally the distance from the Shire to Mount Doom to destroy the ring. So I started it. It's fucking amazing.
Is it an app?
It is an app. To be fair, it costs a lot to partake in it, but it's worth it. Just give me a moment. Which reminds me, I'm still waiting actually on the holder to turn up. I ordered that like a week and a half ago. Bastard. It's turned up super quick. Let me just... Oh! Hold on. I'm going to have to go from the... I want to make it look as good as possible.
Okay.
So I did 200... I ended up doing 233 kilometres, which is... a lot of miles. 200 and something odd miles. But anyway. And because I did this Conqueror challenge, I got something.
Oh my god.
It is amazing. And I've just started the second one. And it's even better. Like,
holy shit.
And then don't worry, it gets even better.
I was hoping!
We have a ring. We have a ring.
I love that so much.
It was so worth. Like, it freaking like 100. Way too much for me. Like, it was surprisingly expensive to partake in this, but you do get a really hefty medal at the end of it. That's so cool, and I'm proud of myself. This is definitely one of those defining moments where I realised that I could do shit.
Right? Oh my gosh. So that's happened for me a few times in the last couple of weeks, actually.
It's just
not with exercise. Okay, I suck at that. But we're strapped for cash right now. Still a lot been going on, and I'm capable of doing a waitressing job.
Yeah.
I'm able to do it. I'm not concerned about whether or not I would be successful. I have 8 kids every day. I can do that. But where my skill set is and where my passion is and what I enjoy, marketing and networking and going out and meeting new people. And so instead of just settling for a waitressing job, I put together a resume, including all of the things I do in networking and all the things I know, and actually got a job as a publisher for a local resident, like sent to homes publication. My job is to go out and sell ad space to get businesses in front of customers.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I am so excited about it, and there's been a lot of different doors that have opened in the last couple of weeks because I'm not just taking any shortcuts and just managing, but I'm actually trying to build something.
Yeah.
And I was working on this project, which I still support the project. I'm just not on it anymore. And instead, I'm doing my own thing in the U.S. in 417 Nerd Vein Expo. And it is like we're going to have vendors that have a teddy bear mobile and that have, so that they go like a Build-A-Bear. I don't know if you've been there, but you go in and you pick the skin and then you stuff it and then you love it and then you get an outfit. It's adorable. So we've got that. They're going to come out and we have different vendors like leather workers and crafters. And one of the really cool things is that one room with about 20 plus vendors is called the Wellness Wing.
Oh, hell yeah.
All mind and body wellness.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So, and then our panels are going to be like it's a breakout room is what it's called. But it's a like theater style seating for about 60 plus guests to stand in there to be in there for a speaker. And so our speakers will have 45 minutes to an hour, and it's going to be a lot of mental health. It's going to be a lot of like fitness, and we're also going to have like yoga demonstrations, and we're going to have what else? Like we have a group here that's anime dancers, so they're going to be up on stage at some point, and just really a lot of awesome people that are in the area that are so talented. I can't wait to get to see that all fall into place. And so my job is reaching out and contacting them because I've already got the event space. I've already got like the foundational stuff laid out.
Yeah.
And my event is just bigger than the other one I was helping with. And that's okay. And it's a little risky. It's, my first year doing this event, but I don't know of any events that are going to have D&D and mental health both represented. You know what I mean? We're have a video game area. We're going to have other board games and tabletop games, and
gotta do it.
Yeah, awesome.
Just sounds
right?
Fun.
Yeah.
So,
and maybe throughout the event, I would love. Maybe we can do like a live Brains Are Rude episode. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be immense. We'd have to figure out a way to do it because, God, that would be.
Live stream it. Probably live stream it.
Yeah.
I imagine that it's hella expensive.
Oh, probably.
Especially with gas right now. Oh.
Yeah.
Gross.
To be fair, I've just noticed on this medal, right? Because it's fucking cool as shit. It actually does say it is no bad thing to celebrate a simple life.
Nice.
Which I am very much for, because that's all I want. A surprisingly simple life for a guy that streams playing games on the internet.
that flippin' thing, the trolls come in. Do you want to be famous?
Oh, I've had them all banned for so long. I kind of miss them.
well, I'm like, I used to say no, I don't want to be famous. But I guess what I meant to say is I want to be famous in my own right. Like, I don't necessarily need everybody to know who I am. But I would like to make enough of an impact that there are people out there that have a positive experience because we know each other. Like, that would feel really good. I don't feel like I have a very positive experience knowing me, so if somebody else can.
Oh Christ! I think everyone is. I think I've told everyone that I'm like, that's just unlucky for you that you know me, and they're like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, no.
Well, my boyfriend and I, we have this kind of conversation because he's like, when you're networking and when you're meeting people, you just glow when you're like really into what you're doing, and I'm like, okay. Like, it's hard for me to see it from that point of view.
I
think
definitely
all of us struggle with that.
Yeah, like I struggle to see when people are nice about me. I'm like, no, No. One thing I've got to work on, and if I ever start to realise, like, if I can start to, like, just accept compliments and think, yeah, no, that is me. Christ, that'll be the biggest turning point in my life.
I'll freaking send Nick over to your stream because he aggressively complimented me, and not like in the negative way I've talked about in the past. Because usually when I say aggressive compliments, it's people being like, "I know you're tall, but you won't even notice how short I am when we're horizontal." And I'm like, "Get away from me."
That's funny though. That is funny.
Right. So, but Nick would just like compliment me, just say I looked nice, and I'd be like,
thanks.
What are you saying? Why are you saying this? I've had people come into my stream and they're like, "Girl, you fit." I'm like, "I don't know why you're making fun of me." That was a compliment. I go, "I have not seen the inside of a gym in 8 years. Please stop telling me I'm fit. I'm not fit." I'm like my chocolate, okay? Like, I don't... But it gets so, like, it would stress me out so bad. So, like, I'm taking selfies with my face paint and everything. I've gotten a little bit better about accepting compliments. But it's, like, as soon as I have painted my face in over a month, and I stopped taking pictures, I stopped posting pictures, like, I don't need the likes and the comments. They're great, and I appreciate them. But the self-love I get, selfies with my face paint, or just selfies in general, like, that is so important to me.
Yeah.
It's hard to come by when I'm doubting myself. And, yeah, so Instagram for me, and, like, Facebook, and anytime I take a selfie and get to show the face paint looks, and that helps me take steps towards caring about myself.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. It's
you're
like
the same way with, like, exercise. Like, obviously, you like exercise, but then you get cool medals. Like,
yeah. It's only because I fucking paid for it. Fucking hell. I did that earlier. I was like, I got home from work, went for a run, then got sat here and did this. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things where you like, I have to get reminded on a kind of regular basis at this point of how far I've sort of come with everything, and because my streaming, I've been streaming for over 2 years now.
Yay!
I hit 2 years streaming the other month, and it's fucking insane. But I have to get reminded on a regular basis how right? Yeah, it's a weird thing, and I'm just like, I just can't like fathom it in my own brain.
Your streaming platform is Twitch. I'm on an app called Vigo, and
we miss you over on Twitch. We miss you.
Yeah, honestly, I've thought about doing some streams lately, just to go on there, like, play word games and just hang out. I just haven't done it in ages. Plus, I love that stupid fucking words on stream game. My boyfriend will be like, "How do you get the longest word in the first 8 seconds?" I'm like, I've been trained for this.
It's like, really? Come on. Is that really a question?
Life,
oh,
right?
yeah.
Today, they have on Bigo, there's a thing called Live House.
And
it's like the front page of Twitch. It's like, except you only get 30-minute intervals.
Yeah.
And on their Live House, they usually have a theme. And it's gotten to a point where I don't sign up for the theme, but on Wednesdays, the admins of the app will come in to see if I'm live and then ask me if I want to be on Wellness Wednesday. Because they like what I do, and they like how I talk, and and to me, like, I forget that there are people higher up in the app that care about what I'm doing, to the point where they will literally seek me out and ask me if I want to participate. And that is massive for me. Yeah. Recognition is my love language. If you guys don't know about the 5 love languages, I recommend you look into them because they're fantastic. But recognition and quality time. Those are the ways that I feel like somebody cares about me. Where I think the other ones are acts of service, gifts, and physical touch.
Okay.
I can be in, like, a relationship or in close proximity, but, like, I don't feel the need to be, like, physically touching. I don't have that. That is not something, like, I don't feel unloved if I'm not, like, getting physical attention, and I don't feel like it's not my natural instinct to offer physical attention.
I feel like I should look into that. It feels like a thing I should look in. Message me it so I don't forget, because I am...
Yeah, absolutely.
I am so forgetful.
I'd love to do an episode over it, because
it's
just so fascinating.
Hell yeah, I'd love to look into it, and hell yeah. See, that's the thing. This is how recording goes most times. We just...
Right.
Like, today, it's been a while, so we're just sort of chatting, just seeing where it goes. And I'll be honest, this is...
a decisive moment and a turning point.
Yeah.
Getting back into streaming.
That is true. It's a turning point. We're back into this. We're back into this. We are doing this once again.
Yeah, the things like with this publishing thing, so my whole job is to sell ad space.
Mm.
So I'm going to be going around to the different networking groups, which makes my heart happy. Meeting people and trying to get their business in front of other people. And that is what makes me, like, sing. I love it. I love it so much.
Mm.
When people are like, oh, I need, like, my tire fixed, or I am looking for a home, or I need an air duct clean. Like, I like to be like, I got you, here's somebody. And so I get to do that for several businesses now in publication form. And
hell yeah. That is good. See, that's the thing, is it's nice to see that you're doing something that you enjoy, and just every time you speak about it, you smile.
Yeah,
it's like
so
it's just a big turning, like, it's a turning point now, but it could easily down the road turn into one of those decisive moments in your life. Like,
yeah.
I've definitely got a few that were turning points that then turned out to be kind of false turning points, like little bends and then back to where I was. Some have turned into big decisive moments, and some were just outright massive decisive moments from the off. Like,
and
it's incredible.
Well, in it's been a little over a year now. In April, I ended up in a relationship, which I didn't think I was going to be doing that again. I mean, you were there for the whole shit show that was my last one, going up in flames.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
yeah, actually, we've known each other way too long.
Right.
I genuinely remember you getting into this relationship.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Is it been that long already?
Yeah, I think we've been streaming, recording. It's just a little bit past.
Damn.
Starting that up, but when we started dating, first of all, it is good for your mental health to have an active sex life. I'm just gonna say that. So because of that, my boyfriend and I, we've known each other for years. So my boyfriend and I, we've known each other for years. We decided to work on a creative project together, and it was very, like, intellectual and creative, and it was very good. And so we ended up staying the night together, and then, like, kept meeting up. It was super funny because the first time we were both like, so I've got kids and a life, and that's all this is. It's fun, it's great, and hey, we can do this more, but doesn't go past here. And so that was our whole mentality. And then a few weeks into us spending time together and writing, and
it was colleagues with benefits at the start, clearly.
Yeah, absolutely. And the kids were like, "Why are you lying to us?" Like, what? You're dating? We're like, oh, I guess we are. Because we've been together for a few months before we, like, really realized that we were actually together.
I like how it was the kids that went, come on, stop being twats, come on, make it official, just get on with it.
It's so funny. And our oldest girls, at the time, they were both 12. It's the reason we were friends is because our kids were all the same age. So now we have 3 sets of kids that are the same age throughout different parts of the year. It was just so funny because we genuinely, like, we weren't trying to be deceptive or, I mean, obviously I'm not going to tell my 12-year-old that I'm just having really good sex, but it definitely was like, it was really funny that the kids were, like, noticing that what we thought was going on and what was actually going on were different.
Very different. Just like, what?
So it was like we didn't realize we had found somebody that really, like, we clicked with as much as we did.
That's kind of the best way to do it, though, isn't it? It's one of those things that kind of just happened naturally. And to be fair, it's, you know, to see how far you've come, like, yourself in that time, it's incredible, because you've done so much stuff, so much, and it's just incredible. Like, currently, I am talking about relationships, and that I am currently, let's just say I'm too busy on everything else to think about that side of stuff. Not deliberately not thinking about it, but I just don't have the time.
Right,
I work full time, I stream, I go for a run and exercise. You know, I do a lot of things, and I've got lots of things going on. It's just one of those times at the moment.
Right, and I thought I was going to be in that phase for a very long time. That was the game plan. So, I know nothing.
That's the thing. I've tried to, you know, I've tried the dating apps and online dating and all that. It's not worked out.
I know people that it's worked out for, but I don't. I'm an energy human. Some people, like, associate with different elements, fire, water, air, whatever. I do not. I want to be indoors. I want to be dry. I don't need the heat. I get a sunburn when I just look outside, so, like, I don't need that.
You get sunburned just sat next to a window. We all know
right?
it.
Yeah. So, well, it's funny because I went out to an event with my daughter over the weekend, and it was an outdoor event, but everybody had tents. And part of my job is to go around and meet everybody. And so I was doing that, but every tent I went to, I would, like, push myself into their space to be underneath the tent, right? I was like, I'm just going to slide in here. My daughter's standing out in the sun the whole time. We're there for about an hour. I come home, and my back was red, like, worse than this back wall. And my boyfriend's like, what the hell happened? And I was like, we were outside for an hour. I wasn't even in the sun most of the time. And then she's just got a little bit of pink on her nose. I'm like, she is your child, because I do not have that beautiful complexion that can do that. My pasty white babies would have just burnt up in the sun along with me. And it's just so funny to me because we were both outside doing the same thing. She was less worried about being in the shade than I was, and still, I got burnt and she did not.
It's incredible. Incredible.
So I need to be in somebody's, like, space to know if I vibe with them, because it's an energy thing for me. And
honestly, I'm still figuring that out. I'm still relatively young, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like, I'm only in my mid-20s, for God's sakes.
Right, I was going to say, I think you're quite a few years younger than I am.
I'm
33 next month.
I was going to say, there's a few years. It's a few years.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It's less than 10.
I wear it well.
Yeah. See,
so it's like 9.5.
I genuinely think that people probably think I'm the older one, which I'm fine with. I'm kind of used to that.
I mean, I'm Thanos though, so I am the oldest.
That is very true. Very true.
We've been watching the Marvel movies, and I hate spoilers. So I don't normally talk about them because people are like, "Oh, I'm going to tell you this cool thing that's happening." I'm like, "Fuck off," because I'm not that far yet. But we're watching all of this with all of the kids. And we watch the first one that has Thanos in it.
Yes.
Right? Whatever that is. And we ask the kids who their favorite character is, right? And my 3-year-old's like, I like the purple guy. We're like, what?
Yeah!
She's like, with the lines on his face, I like him. I'm like, and now I'm sleeping with one eye open.
Just gonna snap you out of existence.
You terrifying little human. She's so funny.
Like, that's a thing. Like, that, like, is a very good representation of decisive moments where he's just like, yeah, fuck you.
Right? I know. That is why. That is why I did the.
It's incredible.
Because
Actually incredible.
He's so lawful evil.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, he probably considers himself to be lawful neutral, but just so determined to. Man, I wonder. I'm curious. I'm like, I have a whole debate on whether or not he'd be considered like chaotic good, chaotic neutral. And now I just want to know what everybody thinks. Tell me what you think Thanos' alignment is. But
oh god, yeah. That would be a
right?
like a lot of people have lots of different opinions on that, and that's just
Right?
yes.
Like, he's so dedicated. I said lawful because of his tenacity and persistence, but I can see chaotic good because he's in his mind doing something that will benefit all life everywhere, even if it's hard and people aren't brave enough to do it or willing to do it. From his standpoint, I don't think it's bravery that causes you to massacre half of all life, but whatever. But I imagine those who are like horrified by it, they're like, that is just evil, chaotic evil. But he's so methodical. He's so methodical that I can't really, I don't feel like chaotic's the right way to describe him. That was my Thanos rant. Sorry about that.
That is impressive. That is impressive. Impressive. And it's why we're friends.
Yeah, because I can devolve into a
oh yeah. Let's be honest.
alignment.
It's just wait.
Alignment theology over.
It's how things work. It's how things work. Like, seriously, those movies make you. Even though they're very good action movies, they're very good movies in their own right. They do make you think if you like watch them very carefully. They make you think. I like a good movie that makes me think about things sometimes. Sometimes I just like watching things get shot, but
Well, I mean, and these give you both.
yeah, yeah, it's great.
That's one of the things that I've been trying to do is catch up on all of it, because I'm part of this podcast. I'm part of a nerdy podcast called Fanatics and the Fan, and we try to talk about like local pop culture or current pop culture. And sometimes I'm just like totally in the dark, like
I'm not up to current. I'm not current enough.
right. My boyfriend's a huge nerd, and I love that about him. But what I love even more is when I know crazy nerdy things and he doesn't, and I get to show them to him. Like, he had never seen Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, which if you've not seen that, please do yourself a favor and watch that. You can find it on YouTube. It's phenomenal. I don't think he's watched The Guild, which is another phenomenal...
That's surprising that he's not watched that, to be fair.
Nerdy one. Now I've got songs from Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, which is Neil Patrick Harris, Felicia Day, and Nathan Fillion. So, like, love yourself enough to experience that. Yeah.
Like, it's just...
But decisive, like, moments and things like that, like, you find that all the time in the Marvel movies.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I have not seen Far From Home, so I am specifically talking about, like, what's the last one we watched? Endgame.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so everything pre-Endgame I've seen.
Basically phase 1. Maybe up to
I'm
phase
thinking of
2.
the wrong one.
But yeah.
No.
Be around that sort of part of the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right, like all of the different... There, in my nerdy group, they keep talking about how like Marvel has the same story structure that like you can spot in like starting in one movie and then moving forward you see it in every movie. And I enjoy how they do it. Obviously, a lot of people do. But my filmmaker friends are like irritated because they're like, well, you kind of know what's going to happen. I'm like, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's every movie you watch. You kind of have an idea, right? So, there's a lot of decisive moments and turning points, and sometimes, just like in, real life, you don't realize a moment that has become
so decisive.
A turning point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in a decisive moment. You just are like, oh, well, that was a choice they made. And then as it comes around again, you're like, oh my god. I see.
Yeah.
I see what's going on there.
Yeah.
So
it's incredible, really.
Yeah, it's fun to get to see that, like, in a cinematic way. I think it's even, like, it's also just as fun to look at your life and see how that has been applied to the experiences that we deal with. Because sometimes what feels like the biggest low can actually be something that we need to experience in order to get to the next platform. Like, what was it, 2019, so 3 years ago, almost exactly, at the end of July, is when I went into a facility in town called the Marion Center for Suicidal Ideation. And that gave me the opportunity to tap into creative writing and talk about mental health. And that's what led to, in October, I started painting my face. And so I'm 2.5 years into painting my face, and it all was because of the lowest part. My story up to now. And I didn't realize that making that decision to go in and survive was a decision I was making. I didn't even notice that that's what was happening. And I didn't know the first time I painted my face that I would be 2.5 years in. I just wanted to do it for Halloween. Right?
Nice.
So,
nice.
It just, sometimes we just don't realize that very mundane things can end up being something that we look back on and we're like, oh my god, this random series of events brought me to where I am now.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes that's a good reflection, and sometimes it's not.
I've definitely got a few good ones and bad ones. Some decisive moments that are, in my mind, pretty bad. Some that are pretty good, and some decisive and sort of turning points in my life. There's been a few that have been very mundane, really. A lot of them have been mundane, but you look back and you go, Jesus, that actually, that was a thing. Like late last year, I decided to go meet a few friends halfway around the country. Like, I just fucked off like 4 miles away from home for a weekend to meet them. And admittedly, I was in a good space mentally. But looking back, that did a lot of things. That became a massive turning point for me, where now I have met them multiple times, gone again halfway the other way. I've gone fucking up and down the country to see these bastards. And I'm just doing so much more. I'm more open to, like, I do things on my own. Like, I just, like things that you don't really think you should do on your own, like going to a gig or going to this or going to that. I'm just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna fuck off. And that's the most recent one. Okay,
one of the craziest things during, like, after my marriage ended, and there's about, I want to say like a year or so before my boyfriend and I started dating.
Yeah.
And I just went out to a club. I wanted to go. I wasn't really planning on dancing or anything. I don't drink because because my antidepressants work, and I'm worried that there might be side effects with booze in my meds. And
that's
fair.
fair.
About that, right?
That's fair.
So I just wanted to go and be out by myself and prove that I could do that. Prove that like I was capable of doing something independent like that.
Mm.
And it probably seems like so minimal, like just going out by myself, but I struggled with it so severely. And so it was something for me that helped me feel more independent and more like in charge of what I got to do. Instead of, and I was careful, and I didn't stay late or whatever. I made sure that I had a lot of situational awareness, which is frustrating but important to have, especially if you are a single female out late at night. There's a lot of situational awareness that you need to make sure, like, you know what's going on around you, and you know where the exits are and where there's safety, and because not everybody is a good human.
Very much so.
And I'm not saying that single men don't have to have situational awareness. There's just a lot. I've heard of a lot more women struggling in those situations.
Yeah.
But just getting out of the house and then coming back, like it was a rush because I did something on my own, and I had been in a marriage where when I did stuff on my own for me that did not benefit them, it was like I intentionally hurt them. And so to give myself that freedom to do it was really like a turning point for me of realizing that I'm capable of doing the things I would like to do, and it's not doesn't harm anyone for me to want to be able to be independent. And it helped a lot getting into my relationship too, because there are some things that we like to do together, but we also need to have that independence.
Yeah.
To do things on our own.
That is definitely like some of the smallest things seem to be always end up being huge. Like I was in a fucking low point when I decided to go to counselling, when I decided to start streaming, when I decided to take care of myself, and when I ultimately decided that I needed to get a different job. And 2 years down the line, admittedly it took 2 years, nearly took 1.5 years to get a new job, but I'm thriving. I've been streaming for 2 damn years. I've been exercising mostly for the whole time. And like that turning point, that decisive moment I realised I need to change, has snowballed and led to more decisive moments and turning points where I knew that when I left my last job, when I handed my notice in to be like, right, I'm leaving on this date, I was like, I knew that this was right. This was the time to do it, and and one turning point always leads to another. Sometimes they're false, sometimes they're not, but they always lead somewhere. And yeah, that one decisive moment where I decided I was at my lowest low and I thought, shit, things need to change, has kind of been like a rock going into water, and it's just rippled. And there's been turning point after turning point after turning point after turning point, and most of them have been decent. There's been a few odd ones, but they've all been pretty goddamn decent, and they've led me to where I am, where I still have many struggles. There's still a lot of things going on, but would I change that? To be fair, I think the things going on probably would still have happened without all these changes, but I've definitely handled the things better because of these things.
Yeah.
And that's the nice thing. That is the nice thing about it, to be fair.
Absolutely. And sometimes I don't think we realize how much we can handle until we're handling it and we're like, oh shit.
Yeah. And those turning points really do shape us into what we will be unconsciously. You know, yeah, there's all the things that we can consciously, you know, make an effort for, but turning points and decisive moments are the things that shape the unconscious stuff, and they're the ones that people notice. They're the things that, because you can, you know, if you can change things consciously, you know, you swap, you change, you chip, you know, they're never really ultimately permanent, not for a very long time. But it's the subconscious things that you just start doing out of nowhere that really change you. That's the things that people notice.
Absolutely.
And it's incredible. Turning points can be good and bad. Let's put that out there. Not all of them are good.
Yeah.
You know, I've
not all lead to great places, but
like
all teach lessons.
They all yeah. You learn something from any of them. I've definitely had one or two bad ones, but hey ho, you know, you keep going, you keep trying, you don't stop. You know, even if you have to just exist, just survive, you know, you never know where it's going to lead you. I've done that multiple times, just exist. Freaking alarms. Like, just to get through. Those are the points where you look back and go, that was a turning point. I survived through more shit than I thought I could.
Right.
And yeah. I never thought I'd go that deep very quickly, but there you go.
Well, right? No, but that's one of the things, though, when we were talking about mental health and we're talking about, you know, our experiences, it's not because we think we've got it down.
Oh, we know we haven't.
We do not have it down. But
we're very open about that.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay that we don't. And it's okay to learn the lessons, and then we do end up talking about, you know, more than we intend sometimes, just because we're lucky enough to be a part of it, but the conversation's becoming more acceptable to have and, you know, acceptable to discuss, where, like, my parents and especially like their parents is like, oh my god, did you hear so and so sees a therapist? Where, like, you could be at the grocery store and listen to, like, you know, college kids be like, yeah, so this week my therapist said, like, it's not
yeah,
you
like,
know, a taboo thing.
Yeah, like, I know my grandparents, they struggle, they try, you know, they struggle to understand sometimes my mental health and how I see the world and how I deal with the shit show that's life. But I am very open. I don't feel like they struggle, but I know other elder, sort of, you know, my parents' age, family members and friends that don't talk about it, that the stigma's still there. Right. Whereas I am very happy to talk about it. I am not. There was stigma when I started because I was diagnosed and I was 18. I was 18 when I got diagnosed, but I knew easily from about 14, 15. But I didn't want to deal with children's mental health because that's a shit show in itself that needs sorting out. And that was still quite, you know, kids are mean. If you're not, like, average, you're just an outcast. So I didn't say anything. So I struggled quite a bit. But definitely I'm very open about it. And I will happily say I go to a counsellor. I talk about shit. I ain't, you know. I ain't ashamed of it.
Right, and that's something that, and I'll say it over and over and over again, if something positive came out of the pandemic, it was the conversation about mental health.
Definitely, yeah.
As people who didn't get it before, and then got stuck in their house for months, were like, I hate everything. And I don't know why, and I don't necessarily hate it, but I hate it.
Yeah.
Right? So, like...
My mind's saying these things and thinking these...
Welcome to depression.
It's like, yeah, a lot of people are like...
We've been waiting for you.
Yeah, like, people are like, oh my god, you know, I'm stuck inside, I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm like, well, that was my life beforehand, but still.
Right?
Like, and a lot more people are talking about it, and it's great.
I couldn't go out. I couldn't.
Mm.
Like, you're like, oh, let's just go to the bar. And I'm like, people, noises.
Yeah.
Sweat. I don't want it. I don't want it. And it's funny just because, like, for me, I never really dealt with too much social anxiety when I was younger.
Mm.
Like, mid-20s and before. But now, if I go out and I'm in a setting and I'm not there to work, but I'm just there as like a guest, I'm real uncomfortable. And it's something that I'm definitely working on because I didn't have it when I was younger. And I don't know if it was like enhanced because of the pandemic. Which I think it might have been, but also I have a lot of kids, and so I went through a phase where I just didn't really leave my house. And this was not pandemic related, this is years before the pandemic, because I had so many little ones. And I'd like look up and be like, I don't think I've left the house in like 3 months. It wasn't like I refused to do it. It was just I had 6 kids under 6. And so I was just wrapped up in my own little bubble.
Yeah, just doing
taking
life.
Care of everything. And so I didn't. At the time I was in my marriage, and he would work, and then I miss overnight shopping. He would run to one of the 24-hour stores and get the pull-ups and get the food, and then so I didn't leave.
Yeah.
I didn't need to. And we didn't have a vehicle that was super conducive to having so many little ones. So if I wanted to go to the store, I had to pack everybody up with a couple of strollers. And we had to walk. And I'd rather not.
That's fair.
So we did a lot of the same meals, a lot of the same like routines, because it was just easier. And so then pre-pandemic, I already had some social anxiety issues. And then I started getting my help in July of 2019, which is like right as everything started to fall to shit. And then by the time I got out and started my meds, everything was shut down. And so it was a weird transition from like, okay, I'm gonna start taking steps to take care of me. And then my ex is like, and now I'm home all the time.
Yay!
I don't know that I can handle both of those things, taking care of me and dealing with you. Turns out I couldn't. So, no, I tell people, like, my marriage just was not built to survive a pandemic and my diagnosis. It just wasn't. And we did, the best we could for as long as we could, and
I think that's definitely a way to look at a lot of, because obviously mental health issues are on the rise, and people don't want to admit it, but mental health can have a strain on relationships, and no one prepares you. Like, this is the thing in all education, a lot of it, at least in the UK, possibly in America as well. I'd probably say America as well. They don't really help teach on how to deal, or help someone who has a mental health issue to help yourself who has a mental health issue. And, you know, you end up in a relationship and, you know, there's a mental health flare-up. And no one's just sort of
right
there for it. And I think a lot of relationships suffer and fall apart due to not being, like, one of them not being able to cope with a diagnosis.
And one of the classes we have over here, and I don't know if you guys have something similar, but we call it FACS, F-A-C-S. It's Family and Consumer Sciences.
God, no.
So...
Well, might do. Depends on what we've got.
So it's cooking and sewing and child rearing and, like...
We're not that
as
bad.
Part of a family.
We have a cooking class, but that's as far as we've got.
We don't talk about relationships. We don't talk about budgeting. We don't talk about, like, those are the things you need.
Yeah.
When you go out into the real world. And if I'm not saying that people typically go from high school to the real world, but not everybody goes straight to college. Some people do go straight at 18 to that. And so our high schools, I think, really need to start offering developmental classes that cover, like, what it's like to live in an apartment, what it's like to work and save your money and things like that, and we don't really address it.
We, in the UK, we have a couple of different terms. At my school, it was learning for life. Didn't really teach us much. I do remember one thing that we got taught. Lots of sexual transmitted diseases, a lot of STDs. How to put a condom on. That was.
Do you guys have the fake babies?
God, no.
Have you seen them?
No, do you know why? Because half of the by the time you're learning that sort of stuff, half of them are pregnant. Half of the people in the year are pregnant, and within 5 years, they've all got kids.
We've got that would happen our sophomore junior year, and we had a few, but I was in a small town, so we didn't have a lot of teen pregnancies. Where there's some high schools that have daycares because there's so much teen pregnancy. And there was this stupid show that was like Teen Mom.
Oh God, that ran for years. Multiples.
Is it not still running on?
Probably.
And it put the wrong light on.
Oh yeah.
What it is to be a teen parent. It was like, look at all the celebrity and fame you'll get for having a baby. No, you get none of that. You get none of that, and you have to choose between diapers and your graduation gown. Like, you don't get this fun, luxurious snapshot with constant surveillance as a parent. It is hard, and sometimes they showed the hard parts, but for the most part, it was like, let's look at how positive this is. It's not positive. I don't let my girls, or any of my kids, they're not going to be allowed to date till they're at least 16. And it's a lot less about I'm worried about teen pregnancy and a lot more about you can't love someone or teach someone how to love you if you don't know how to love yourself. And if you can't articulate to me what it means to love you, there's no way you can teach someone else how to do it. And I've got one of my boys who's 11, and he's got a crush on a girl, and he's like, I'm good at caring about other people. I go, and that's great, but that's half the relationship.
Yeah.
You need to be able to tell someone else how to care about you, and until you can do that, you're in for more pain than
definitely
healthy relationship.
And
so it's been a fight a little bit with the kids as they're getting more hormonal and things like that, but I tell them, I go, it's a lot less like I'm just trying to keep you from having fun, and a lot more without this basic tool set, without knowing how to care about who you are. And you can't
oh yeah
give yourself to somebody else in any capacity.
Like,
You just
I
can't.
genuinely wish we'd, like, yeah, that we'd learnt more, you know, taxes and real life application of everything I ever did at school. And especially, like, you know, mental health and relationship type stuff, because there really wasn't a lot. I don't remember much from my school that I use on a daily basis other than writing.
Right. Well, and I mean, typing for me is a big one.
I type constantly.
My typing classes.
I never, like, we never had specific typing classes. We got taught how to make silly animations or presentations or this, that, and the other. Which, to be fair, they were quite fun, because I remember making one animation at school because they were like, "Oh yeah, make what you want." I made a Santa that crashed into a building and then burned to death. It was kind of horrific. The warning signs were there for me being very mentally disturbed. They were there on the wall. They were ready to go.
Right.
But yeah.
They're in the burning ashes of Santa.
Oh yeah. Like, God. By the time it had all burnt to the ground, nothing was left. It was fucking impressive.
I really need you to start a screamo band called Santa's Ashes at some point.
That's actually a good call. Maybe not a screamo band, but Santa's Ashes. That sounds amazing. I'm actually writing that down. Leave me be.
Yes.
There we go. Written it down. And if you think I'm kidding, I'm fucking not.
I don't think you're kidding.
That's a lot of people think like, oh no, he's not doing that, or he's not written that down. Fucking, that is one thing I have learned over the last few years. I just don't. I've come to not worry as much of what other people are thinking about me and their opinions. I've just gone, fuck it. Like, at this point, yeah. Like, I've said some weird shit over the years, and I just...
Uncle, one of my favorite family members, his philosophy is, if doing something or not doing something is going to have the same result, pick which one you want to do.
Yeah. Sounds like... Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, so... If no matter what happens, you're going to get the same result, do what you want.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's helped me a lot. Just trying to make decisions. Because I'm not good at decision making. It stresses me out. And I have to do it a lot.
See, I'm bad with decisions when it comes to treating myself, basically. Like,
right.
You know, should I buy this game? Should I do this? Or should I do that? I'm bad at that. Everything else, I'm pretty decent. I'm like, yes or no. I can normally do it, but when it comes to treating myself and caring for myself, if it's something that's not essential, yeah, no, I don't do well. Don't do well.
No, I think that's something that we can all relate to. Is just like, it's hard to love ourselves. It's hard to love ourselves as adults. It's hard to be like, let me tell you exactly how it is that I need to feel loved. And when we dive into the 5 love languages, that'll be a great.
I genuinely cannot wait. I'm going to be looking into that when I can. To be fair, I'm a very busy. I hate the fact that I'm so busy.
One of the things my boyfriend has said to me has been a lesson he learned from his sister, and it was, you have to teach other people how to care about you. And that's not necessarily romantic or like it's across all boards. Like, you need to teach other people how you tick and how you relate to things or you respond to things, because we're not mind readers. Like, none of us are. Or those of us who might be, it still probably would be helpful if other people said what they needed.
Yeah. But yeah, it's about being open and being like just be like, this is how I like to be treated. This is how I like to be spoken to, and this and that. This is what I'll tolerate. This is what I won't. And I've definitely, I think we've all been on both sides of it. You know, we need to talk about how we want to be dealt with more, and so there is a better understanding, so there is no argument, so there is no hurt caused accidentally.
Right.
But then also other side is just if you're not sure, just be careful, talk to them, try and get that communication. But no one likes talking about themselves.
Well,
and if you are, if you do like talking about yourself, they're automatically put in that category of arsehole, which is a bit mean.
So one of my friends, who I adore, every time he has a first interaction with somebody, they hate him.
Nice.
And it's because his first interaction is poke. What did that do? Poke. What did that do? Poke. What did that do? Oh, there's the line. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't go past that again. So he spends the whole first interaction seeing what he can and can't get away with, and then after that, he doesn't cross those lines. And so afterwards, they're like, "Oh, he's cool," and I was like, "I told you, you just gotta wait a minute, all right?" Like,
it's like,
he's gonna
let's hit the boundaries, and we know where, find the boundaries as quickly as possible, and then we're all cool. We know where to not go.
He just wants to run the fog of war so that the map is clear, so that he can do whatever. And it's just so funny because one of the people that he was doing this to was one of my girlfriends, and she was like, "I'm never coming back over when he's here." And I'm like, "I promise." I promise. If you like me, you will like him, because we're like twins. We're like the same brain and everything. I promise that it won't be like this every time. So they've been married for a few years. They have 2 kids, and it's so funny to me because at first she was just like, "No chance in hell, I don't even want to be around him." I'm like, no. That is how he finds out what is and what isn't safe to talk about, and joke about, and all of that.
It's the best way to be sometimes. Sometimes it is about, just dive in head first.
Mm-hmm. And that stresses me out. I'd rather let somebody else tell me where their boundaries are, but that's the one place that we differ is the initial interaction with somebody. I'm way more like test the waters, and he's like, "Yeah, test them," and
to be fair,
to the pool are.
I'm very much because you know how I am. I'm kind of a bit weird, and it's very much I want to say these stupid things that I find fucking hilarious, but I've just met the person.
Right? Oh my god.
So I'm currently at that point where I want to be at the point where I just go straight in and go for it and see where that line is as quickly as possible.
At the same time, we don't necessarily want to move that curtain to show our crazy.
But yeah, I'm like, I've got to just hold it back just a little bit. Like, it's taken me 6 months, and now people at work are going, "Did you just say what I thought you said?" I'm like, yes, you heard me. I said something that was absolutely, 1, true, 2, horrific the other day, and they genuinely were just like, "Why did you say that?" I was like, "Damn."
I mean, this is what was happening.
You made one comment that was kind of close to the topic, so I went for it. It's too late. I've been working for them 6 months. They can't get rid of me now.
Right? Well, my mom and my sister, we went out to dinner last night with my oldest. And my mom and my sister and I have not hung out, all 3 of us together, in a while. Mostly because we don't get along. But we're working on it as adults. We're trying to have more adult-like relationships.
Yeah.
But it's funny because my mom so it was my mom and dad and 3 of us kids. My younger brother, who's the youngest, and I are very similar to our parents. Like, you say the fastest, funniest, wittiest thing, and you're winning. And if it deals damage, bonus points. So, we didn't grow up in a healthy environment.
Yeah, you grow up grow up in a way to survive.
And we sure did. My sister does not live in that realm. As a matter of fact, if she ended up with a diagnosis as being on the ASD spectrum, I would not be surprised at all. Neither would she. But every great once in a while, she says something and I'm like on the floor dying. Like, whoa, that was so damn funny. And so we went out to dinner last night and she would say something and my mom and I would just start laughing and she's like, what the hell is wrong with you guys? Because Mom and I have the same jokes. It's just a competition who says it first. And my sister's not like that. So she had it's terrible because my sister actually has a heart condition. So it is like not great when she starts wheezing laughing. And her watch will like go off.
Yeah.
If she starts getting into an unhealthy heart range. And so last night, like as we were driving home after the restaurant, she's driving and she's like, I just need you to be more boring right now. And so I literally was like, she just starts laughing. I'm like, I did exactly what you asked for. No, we definitely like, when I'm in a scenario with other people and somebody says something and I just immediately respond, they're like, how did you come up with that so quickly? And I was like, it just seemed kind of obvious to say it. I don't really understand what the question is. And then everybody's like, oh, you're so funny. And I'm like, it was just, you lobbed that. It wasn't even hard. It wasn't even a hard spike at that point.
Seriously, it's like, it's an open goal. I fucking took the shot.
Right.
It's not a
shot.
I do, it's so often. It's like, come on, make it tricky.
Right. Make me work for it. And
yeah.
Then people just start laughing, and I'm like, I don't feel super accomplished with that. Okay, like.
Hey, take a laugh where you get it. Let's be honest.
Right.
You just take it where you can get it.
Yeah.
I do that at this point. I'm like, people at work laugh at me when I just start randomly dancing or bobbing my head or talking to myself. That's a big one. I talk to myself a lot. And they just start giggling. I'm like, I'll take it.
Able to do that if you're a streamer?
Yeah, to be fair, I talk to myself 90% of the day. What a surprise! I stream.
Right, I know. People are like, "Oh, streaming, that seems hard." I'm like, I can hang out with myself all day. I can talk to myself, no problem.
Yeah, like
day long.
I talk to myself, like without it. Like through the day, normally I'm talking to myself. Sometimes I just spurt it out my face hole. But also, with streaming, when I'm gaming, I talk to myself anyway. I'm literally doing nothing different. Right. It's, oh shit, I'm stuck. I then go back to everything in my brain from the game to figure it out. I'm no different. It's weird. Right.
And it cracks me up when some people are like, oh, that would take so much work. I'm like, it doesn't.
Be surprised.
You just have to hit on. Done. That's the only difference in my day.
The only time, again, when it starts to become difficult for me is when I'm not feeling great. But then, when I'm doing that, I just don't stream. Because it's easier.
Right.
Otherwise, my day is just the same. Like, it's just brutal. Like, the other day, we were talking at work, and I was like... It ended up being in a weird conversation where I was like, I look good in makeup, and we would all know it. I've had makeup on. There's photos on somewhere. I've got them probably on my PC. I think I look fucking fabulous. And then I turned around and we were talking about this. I was like, bitches, you know I would look great in a dress. And I take the easy win sometimes, but you got to. Sometimes you got to play the fool.
Right.
And you just go for it. You need to.
One of my favorite things in the last few months after switching platforms is I'll have people come in to my streams and just say some ludicrous shit. And I mean, we've got that no matter what platform we're on.
Oh yeah.
But I just love being like, no, this is my space. I don't have to deal with you.
See, I don't have to deal with that. Like, I've got people that are regulars that, you know, riot and take a joke and like playfully complain. And I just turn around and be like, I'll make it harder for you fuckers. Fuck you.
Right.
They are the. No, I love it.
It's definitely like one of the best parts of streaming is having those people who do show up regularly. It's why I miss Twitch, because some people have had switch platforms just to hang out, which my heart, like, I appreciate everybody who's done that, because it's not easy to start, like, to get onto a new platform just to hang out with somebody.
Literally, I can tell you now, mine is literally just in the search bar. There's one name. That is it. That's all I do.
Right. And so, like, I really want to do a couple of Twitch streams, I think, this month, just to get on there and hang out and play, like, that silly word game. It doesn't take a lot of, like, energy on my part. I love word games. So, alright, guys, I'm Loot. This is Ninja. We've been having a lot of fun hanging out. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Brains Are Rude, and stay tuned for more information. So, if you go to patreon.com/mentalhealthandmakeup, you will get to see the Brains Are Rude tier. And the Brains Are Rude tier is $60 a month, and for that support, you will get listed in the credits and panels for Brains Are Rude. You'll get behind the scenes Brains Are Rude content, digital downloads, early access, all of the post archive on this Patreon, exclusive voting power for upcoming topics. You will get a mug after 3 months of support. You will get a Brains Are Rude t-shirt after 6 months of support. You will get a Brains Are Rude organic tote bag after 9 months of support. And after 1 full year, you will also get a Brains Are Rude hoodie. This is our Brains Are Rude Patreon tier to help us keep doing what we love to do